Most people think that homelessness is about losing a job. It's not exactly. Homelessness comes about because people stop caring about others in the world. They literally say, there's nothing I can do for this individual. Really? You don't have a shower that you can loan to someone. You don't have an extra can of food you can give to someone. You don't have a proper bag that they can utilize to carry their belongings and keep them dry when it rains. You don't literally have a poncho that you're not using in your storage closet that you could give out to a homeless person to keep them from getting ill in the rain under a bridge somewhere. You see, homelessness is not really about the person itself. It's about how society views homelessness. I've literally let my beard grow as sort of a sociological experiment. I normally would be all cleaned up with a polished goatee and wearing a suit. But someone thought they'd play a game on my life by getting into my storage unit and taking the suit that I had put in my car with 2 buttons out and literally putting in my car a button suit that only had 1. I didn't actually do that. I've got suit jackets going missing literally from my storage unit, and in my storage unit I have 2 locks on it. Now, who has the right to do that? I have produced no key for any other person. Those keys are literally on my personhood. And who gave them the right to get into my pockets and get those keys? Or are locksmiths really the problem? Or is it really that our locks are being produced in mass bulk, that anybody can get a key if they go to the same store where we bought the lock? Because they're sold in batches, all with the same numbers. Now think about that a moment. The lock on your house is not in one of a kind. It might be a multiple of 100,000 of them. Now in general, that's okay. But if there's a master key to all those locks, then a master locksmith has that key, or someone who literally wants to be a master locksmith and get into your house can get that key. You see, properly, the locks of our lives are lying to us about their security. The locks on your car door are most definitely lying about their security, because I've literally been sleeping in my car and had things go out in the middle of the night. I can't stay awake every second of the day. I also cannot produce a life worth living is not truth, that even when I had an apartment home that I was renting, things were literally going in and out of my home all the time. People lied about what they were doing there. They told neighbors they were doing something else, and frankly, they walked out with bags of my goods. Who proactively gave them the right to do that? In the end, when I complained about it, they had me emergency evicted. That produced my homelessness for a second time. The first homelessness was produced by a loss of love. I was madly in love with someone and they wouldn't talk to me, and it destroyed my hope in life. It destroyed my desire to be productive, and openly it took an emotional toll. But that was my fault completely. It wasn't hers, it was mine. I wasn't ready to handle the conversation is not true. I was fearful to do it. And I should have done it when I felt like it. I should have said what I said when it was on my heart. And I literally missed the opportunity perhaps of a lifetime, unless she's still playing around with someone else. You see, in life we have moments of time to make a difference for someone. We have the moment of time to help them out of poverty. We have the moment of time to provide them a can of food. We have the moment of time to provide them literally an untainted bottle of water. We openly have the opportunity to say, why don't you just sit down and cool off from the heat? We're happy to have you here. Let's get you groomed up. We've got a pair of scissors. We'll get you a haircut. It'll help you get a job better. But no one really thinks about that, and with regard to the homeless, they always are looking at, what can I do to help someone else? Not exactly. In this little land of America, we have this wonderful idea that everyone has the land of opportunity. That is not true. People make instant decisions about how a person looks, and that's why I've kept my beard this way as a reporter. I wanted to literally see how people would treat me, what they would say about me, what they would do to me if I kept it like this. I sort of look like a mountain man, a little bit of a ZZ Top man of old, and frankly, that's okay. But practically, there's always someone lurking about. There's always someone literally not doing a job, and there's always someone who thinks they have the right to take from someone else. This is where the American flaw begins. You see, we have lost the ability to train our children not to steal from people. That should be the fundamental first class of every kindergartner. That his property is his, and another child's property is theirs, literally. You see, the educational system is failing our children. They're teaching our children that if they just literally work hard enough on these stupid-ass tests and master mathematics and science, that they'll get a great open opportunity in life. That is a total falsity. We need to produce a society that trains children literally in their gifts, helps them to develop the skills that they are adapted to and have an aptitude for. And linguistically, we need to have more people who produce foreign languages than anything else, and that literally has to start early on. Spanish is not the only language of our country, and frankly, it's offensive that that's the only thing offered. The reality is maybe other nations don't want us to learn the language so that they can secretly vie for our land, our money, and anything else of value that we carry and that we feel is valuable to us. Even in my mom's property, I've had things literally stolen. I've had a microphone go missing. I've had some faith fobs that I developed go missing. And who am I supposed to tell? The executive director, and what's he literally going to say? Not possible. It doesn't happen in our facility. Really? If that's the case, then why has it gone on? Why am I not finding what I'm looking for? I have a belt buckle that's completely missing. It's a dragon. I've worn it for a long time. It literally had a little bit of a problem, and I was taking it to repair, which is why I put it in my pocket, yet it's no longer there. Who literally has the right to get into my pockets? No one. Not even my mother. She has a lawful right to put her hands in my pockets. She hasn't fully grasped that yet, but she's getting there at 85. She's slow about it, I guess. Most people don't understand the laws of the land because we don't study the Constitution long enough. We don't give them case studies to help them understand why this was brought about and what sort of issues have been challenging them. You see, law and government should be the fundamental classes of our children's lives. Law, government, and food, sanitation. That's it, literally. Anything else, math and science, can literally come later at age, what's more appropriate to their minds, where they can manage it better. Sure, addition and subtraction is important for managing a life. Multiplication might become useful. Division definitely can help in terms of dividing up and determining how much is needed to produce a life of food or gas or anything else. But beyond that, all the algebra and shit, what's it for? What does it literally teach the brain? What does it literally teach a child for their future work? Absolutely nothing. And that's the truth. Science classes are very important. They teach us about the world. They teach us about sanitation. They teach us about snakes. They teach us about microbiology. They teach us about how to prevent disease. Absolutely. Music is absolutely essential because people have music in their souls. And those souls have to be uplifted by the gift of music. Music should be a requirement, not an option. And literally, gym is important because it gives kids physical activity, but it's rarely enough to keep them healthy. So we have to look at that. How do we produce a day for our children that literally teaches them life balance? Faith, family, fitness, finance, fun, philanthropy, all in a day's work at school. So these are my ideas openly. I'm talking to you about reforming education. How hard is it literally? Not hard. We just throw out the old laws and bring in new. But who's going to plan those laws? The religious right? I don't think so. The farmers? Absolutely. Why? Because it's their generations that are dying off, and they produce our food to keep us healthy, safe from the foreign infidels that are here trying to ruin our land, destroy our crops, and literally take over our money. You see, it's not really an off thing to say. I've seen it a lot in the gas area and in other areas like Subway. You maybe start to get the gist of what I'm saying, but not everybody's here to produce a life in America. Some people are here to produce a life to send it back home to their families. That's openly okay. Men of old did that all the time in the Wild Wild West, and that's literally what we're doing now. But in our lifetime, we're teaching our children that they're too arrogant or too smart to work at a McDonald's, and that's not true either. McDonald's is one of the most reputable companies around the world in other nations, where kids literally line up to work at a McDonald's because why? It's an American company. We need to do the same with our foreign investors who come here. We literally need to have a way to help them find the best talent all the time. We have to produce an educational system that will allow our children to thrive spiritually, soulfully, and intellectually. How do we do that if we're still hanging on to the old ways? Not sure unless someone comes in and just says we're done with this. Trump has enough power to do it, but he's not wise enough necessarily to figure out how to do it to honor all children. He wants to do the billionaire mindset all the time, and that's not the life of everyone. But we do need to teach our children how to make more money is absolutely true. We need to create more retirement opportunities is absolutely true. We need to literally have more and more in our life is not true. We need to learn to live with less, be happy with more in terms of in the bank. That's something that only an educational system can help produce because parents really aren't talking about money at home too much. If they do, it's usually about whether or not a kid can earn something or buy something or do something. It's rarely about, listen, in a few years' time you're going to be on your own. So these decisions are sort of important. Is this something you literally cannot live without, or is it something you just want? You see, we need to produce parents in our educational system. Children who understand about sexuality is not the point, that allowing them to have sex is not the point either, that educating them on the responsibilities of having it is totally true. They need to really produce what it takes to produce a family. How much money is needed? They need to study all of that. We don't have economics at the right age in life, and most of it is so high level that even college-educated people like myself couldn't even help my own Japanese significant other to get through it in college. She had 2 classes left before she got her 4-year degree, and we couldn't get through them. I couldn't translate enough to help her, and I didn't have a mind enough to know what to even say to her about the stuff that I was reading in English, because it was all Greek to me. No matter how many times I read it, I was like, what the hell does this mean? I don't know, and why the hell does she need it for a cooking class? Or for tourism? So literally, we've got courses that are required that kill a student if they literally don't understand the subject matter at all, or if their foreign language doesn't allow them to produce the right results. So these are my thoughts on education. What are yours? Share a comment below. Tell me if you think these audiocasts are on the money, or if you really think that all the children in the world are just going to go off to happiness and productivity and profitability, then tell me that one too. This has been Blake Ensign of Communications LLC. I hope you're having a really super day.